Jane is a 20-year-old college student who has come into student health. She fell last night while out drinking with friends and has injured her wrist. Jane drinks 3 to 5 beers or other alcoholic drinks a day, or approximately 10 to 15 a week. The wrist has been treated and a nurse is now meeting with Jane.
Good morning, Jane. I see that you've been treated for your wrist. I just need to ask you some screening questions about drugs and alcohol. We do this for all of our patients.
Okay.
In the past year, have you smoked cigarettes or used any other tobacco products?
Nope.
And in the past year, have you partaken in any recreational or prescription drugs that were for non-medical purposes?
No, I haven't.
Okay. And in the past 3 months, have you consumed 4 or more standard alcoholic drinks in a day?
Yeah, like on the weekends, and maybe a few during the week. But what do you consider a standard drink?
Well, a few examples of some standard alcoholic drinks are 12-ounce beer, 5 ounces of glass of wine, or 1.5 ounces of liquor. In a typical week, would you say you consume more than 7 standard drinks?
Probably, I guess. I mean, if I go out, I probably have at least 4 or 5 drinks a night.
So you typically consume more than 7 drinks in a week, and sometimes 4 or more at a time.
Yeah, that's correct.
Jane has a moderate level of risk for alcohol abuse. Jane is also considered to be in the pre-contemplative stage of change. She has not really thought about change and may or may not know the health risks.
Well, thank you for answering those questions. Would you mind having a further discussion with me about your alcohol use?
I have a lot to do today, and I've really never thought about it much.
I know as a college student, your life must be very busy, but this will only take a few minutes of your time.
All right, fine.
Can you tell me a little bit more about your social life and drinking habits?
Well, I usually go out a couple times a weekend. My friends and I usually go to the bars twice a weekend or so. That's just what we do for fun. During the week, I probably have, I don't know, I might have a drink or two with dinner or while I do my homework, or even watch Netflix at night. Drinking really helps me relax. So I'd say probably 3 to 5 drinks a night at least, I guess.
Okay. So you have roughly 5 or more drinks on the weekends, and an average of 4 drinks every night?
Yeah, that seems about right.
Okay. This is above the low risk limit for women. The low risk limit is no more than 3 drinks in a day or 7 drinks in a week. It seems like you use alcohol to relax at the end of a long day, or even a stressful week. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
How do you think maybe your wrist injury from last night could be related to your drinking habits?
Well, I was out with friends when it happened, and I guess I didn't think I had that much to drink, but I guess I did.
So for this particular injury, your alcohol use directly impacted your health.
Yeah, I would say so.
Would you mind if I offered you some advice?
Sure.
Well, I think it's important to think about how your alcohol use may be affecting your overall health. I would consider cutting back on your weekly alcohol consumption and your overall drinking. As you can see, alcohol directly affects your health by causing injuries due to reckless behavior.
I suppose it does.
What sort of impact do you think your drinking habits may have on your life? Maybe within schoolwork or your social life?
Well, it definitely makes it harder to focus on what I need to accomplish during the week. If I sit down and have a couple of drinks, then I don't have as much motivation to do my homework. However, it does help me relax when my days are very stressful.
So you're saying, throughout the week, your drinking kind of gets in the way and affects what you get accomplished.
Yeah, that's right.
You also mentioned that drinking is how you relax. Can you tell me some other positive aspects of your drinking habits?
Well, it's what I do to have fun with my friends. I feel like if I wasn't going out, I would never see them.
So what I'm understanding is that if you didn't go out, you feel like you would never see your friends.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any other negative effects of your drinking that you could share with me?
Like I said, it just makes it so hard to focus on schoolwork. I would rather sit down with a glass of wine and watch Friends than work on chemistry homework. It's also kind of expensive, and when I go out at night, it makes it hard to wake up the next morning.
I want to commend you for discussing this so openly with me. I know you didn't come here to talk about your alcohol use today, so I appreciate your cooperation. I can see how some of your classes may be stressful and make you want to go out and have fun with your friends rather than work on homework. But you say your drinking habits sometimes interfere with your schoolwork. Is that right?
Yeah, I guess that's true.
So after discussing your drinking behavior and some of the pros and the cons of those behaviors, I want to show you this readiness ruler. The 1 is a representation of not being ready to change, whereas a 10 is leaning more towards recognizing and wanting to change. Where do you see yourself falling on this readiness ruler?
I guess I'd be probably at maybe a 4.
Jane is in the contemplation stage of change because she is aware of risks and is ambivalent about change.
Okay, so why would you say you're at a 4 instead of maybe a 1 or a 2?
Well, I can definitely see the negative aspects of drinking a lot, but I think that there are more negative things that would come from changing my habits.
So you feel there are negative impacts that changing your habits would have on your life. I know you already mentioned losing time with friends. Could you share some more information about the negatives of change that you predict?
I think I'd be stressed out if I didn't have the chance to relax at the end of the day.
So you feel that your stress level would increase if you didn't have the opportunity to drink at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's challenging to make a big change in your life, but I appreciate your willingness to discuss the options. Let's discuss some possible positives of changing. What do you think some positive aspects of changing your habits could be?
I would probably get a lot more of my homework done. I could keep up better and not be cramming right before a test as well. I want to be successful, but I guess taking so much time off to relax is interfering with that.
It's good that you realize how your drinking habits are interfering with your goals for your future. I would now like to revisit this readiness ruler. On a scale of 1 to 10, how ready would you say you are to change now that we've discussed some pros and cons?
Probably now I'd be like an 8.
Jane is now at the preparation stage of change because she has decided to change and will soon take action.
Okay, so why did you choose an 8 instead of maybe a 5 or a 6?
I guess because I can see that there are lots of positives to changing my behavior. Losing out on time with some friends seems like less of an issue when it comes down to choosing between that and my future or even my health.
So you see that your future and your health are of more importance than friendships with people who choose to spend all their time going out. It is great that you've been able to make such a big change in your outlook on your habits today. As it is your own personal health, it's ultimately up to you. But it would be good to discuss some goals that you can make for yourself to help you start changing.
Well, I guess I could try to cut back on my daily drinking, so maybe limiting it to 1 or 2 drinks instead of 4 or 5.
So your first goal is to limit daily alcohol consumption to 2 drinks per day. What's another goal you could set?
Well, I could try to do my homework in a library or somewhere that I'm not tempted to drink while I'm at work. Maybe I could do that 2 or 3 nights a week. I could probably also try to get my friends to do something else for fun, like go to the rec or have a movie night on the weekends.
Encouraging your friends to try new activities and studying outside of your apartment are great goals. What is a good timeline for you to try to achieve these goals?
I guess I could revisit my goals when I have my next round of tests in a month. I could record them in a journal, but it's going to be really hard.
I hear that you feel that it's going to be challenging to make these changes in your life. You've accomplished a lot in your life, though. I think you're definitely up to the challenge.
I hope so.
Jane is in the action stage of change because she has now made solid plans and is ready to begin her new life.
In addition to your discharge instructions, I'm going to write down some of your goals that we've discussed today. 1 is to cut down on your daily drinking to 2 per night. 2 is to encourage your friends to participate in activities that don't involve alcohol. And 3, to study at the library or the student center 2 to 3 nights to avoid distractions by alcohol. I know that you didn't come to talk about your alcohol use today, But I appreciate your cooperation and your active participation in this conversation. Is there anything else that I can help you with today?
No, I think that's it.
Well, thank you again for being clear and honest with me. I look forward to seeing the progress of your change.